The Wild Girls by Phoebe Morgan, published by HQ Stories, and this is a thriller about the friendship between four women that is set in Botswana and partly in London. We know from fairly early on that something pivotal happened between this friendship group of Felicity and Grace and Hannah and Alice, maybe about 2 years ago. And they haven't really seen each other since then. And now it is Felicity's birthday. She lives in New York, the rest are in London. And she invites them to her 30th birthday party in an incredibly upmarket lodge in Botswana, just for the weekend. And you can imagine, like, 11 hours flying to Botswana for maybe 3 or 4 days is quite a big ask, but she's going to pay for it for all of them. This is the first time that Alice, Hannah and Grace have hooked up after the 2 years, and they meet at Heathrow Airport, in readiness for their flight, this long flight to Botswana. And they have to kind of get back into the groove because, they all have very specific personalities. Hannah, for example, is a doting mum. Grace has kept herself to herself. And Alice is a teacher, and she's in a bit of a tricky relationship. So there's an awful lot to catch up on, and their own roles are reasserted pretty much from the off, the dynamics set back in. So they fly all this way. They end up at the locked lodge, ready for the mystery that is about to unfold in the capable hands of Phoebe Morgan. And it is a peculiar place. I mean, it is dripping in luxury. There doesn't seem to be any staff, yet food appears on the table, champagne, and they are well looked after. They pile into bed, all hoping to see Felicity, but Felicity has taken to her bed and she declares that she's not very well. Very soon, things are starting to unravel for the girls in their luxury lodge. And remember, there are no locks on the doors, and they were picked up at the airport by a limousine that just transported them straight to the doors of their lodge. They've got no idea where they are, don't know what the address is, no GPS, intermittent phone usage, so they can hardly contact the outside world. They don't really know where north, south, east or west is. They're just there, and it's quite scary. In part 2, we briefly go back to London 2 years ago, and then we get a sense of why things are unfolding as they are in the lodge. So if you are up for a quick read, you want to go to a luxury lodge in Botswana, you want a bit of tension and a bit of a thrill, then The Wild Girls by Phoebe Morgan is a good read.